Turning now to our lead story and security concerns hound community pantries that have sprouted across the country. The community pantry in Maginhawa, Quezon City temporarily suspended operations today after red tagging allegations threatened the safety of volunteers. A senator now calls on officials to stop politicizing this initiative. Let's now go above and beyond the headlines with Senator Win Gatchalian. Senator, thank you so much for joining us. Is this how the government repays the Filipino Bayanihan spirit, red tagging, securing permits, and filling up information sheets?
Actually, Rico, this is the single best news that we have in the last 3 weeks, especially after the surge. If you remember, after the surge, every day we would say condolences, we would see friends and family, some of their loved ones would pass away. This is actually the single best good news that we ever had after the surge. And we should encourage this type of Bayanihan spirit because it's the private sector, people helping other people without government intervention, without even asking a single centavo from government. And we should
Senator,
not be treating these people this way.
But Senator, what about the red tagging, security of permits, and seeking information sheets from these organizers of community pantries? This should stop because if it all started in the first place, this should have been started. This was started by the government.
I don't understand this, Rico, because why red tag? I know, like, for example, here in Valenzuela, I know some friends who started their own community pantries. They're not connected to any groups. These are just pure, ordinary citizens who want to help. And they're not connected to any group. They're not even connected to government, actually. So it's actually quite disturbing that the government, the police, even the task force is looking for loopholes and discouraging people from doing this. And I'm discouraged, actually, I'm discouraged because this is happening to people who are doing their own part to help other people.
So, Senator, you mentioned a key word there, loopholes. Is the government, you think, looking for loopholes because it has mishandled the COVID-19 response and it is doing very poorly?
Actually, Rico, I want to shy away from connecting this to any response, COVID response, amelioration response, social response. This is pure volunteerism. And the intention of the volunteers or the intention of the proponents is just to help. I don't think they did this to criticize government. I don't think they did this to connect this to the pandemic response. So let's leave it at that. I don't think it's right for politicians or proper for any politicians to connect this to any response because it will be politicized. In fact, we should leave them alone because this is pure volunteerism, pure kindness of heart, and it should stay that way.
So there's really no place in this modern-day Bayanihan Spirit initiative, Senator, for red tagging, securing permits, and filling up information sheets for these community pantry organizers. This has to stop now.
Rico, I don't even understand the permits. No, I was a mayor before, and this type of micro volunteerism does not need any permit. First of all, it doesn't make money, so you don't need a permit. You only get permit if it's for profit. But this is pure volunteerism, and it's out in their backyard. So it's not as if they're setting up a store to help one another. So in short, Rico, let's leave the private sector alone. They're doing their help. This is a micro volunteerism to help our poor constituents. And the last thing we want is to discourage people from doing so. In Valenzuela, we've seen 3 of these sprouting in the city, and we encourage that. In fact, we want more. And this is a venue for other donors to give their goods and to help other people.
Senator, you've been quoted in a statement saying that this kind of initiative should encourage more participants, particularly from the private sector, to join this kind of community pantries. But hasn't the private sector done its part or even more during this pandemic? And the private sector is hurting because of the flip-flopping of policies of government.
Actually, Rico, this type of community pantries, I saw it's a micro venue for donors. And not all donors can donate millions. Not all donors can donate hundreds of millions. So if you have a small amount, if you want to donate in kind, this is a venue to do so. So the private sector, yes, it's doing their part. In fact, during the lockdown last year, the private sector has done tremendously, donating straight to the local governments, donating straight to our constituents. And again, we should encourage that. I would shy away from connecting this to any pandemic response, because it will just be politicized, and if that happens, then people will just be turned off.
But don't you think that with all of this red tagging and all of this negative news impacting these community pantries, it will discourage individuals to donate, and eventually they'll just say, forget about it. I will just stay away from it because I could be red tagged, and why should I still donate? I've already given so much.
You're absolutely correct, Rico. In fact, before this call, I was talking to one of my constituents in Valenzuela, and their friends started their own community pantry. And to my surprise, the police went there to ask questions. And of course, the police right now, they're all wearing their outdoor camouflage gear, and it doesn't send a good signal. And also encourage the community to donate. And I was actually quite surprised that the police even went to them. Now, this is just 1 or 2 tables. So we're not talking about a whole store of donated goods. This is just a very small donation. So my point here is the government should back off. They should stay off these community pantries and encourage more of this to sprout in our cities.
Thank you so much for your insights on these community pantries, Senator Win Gatchalian.